Okay, starting from loops, iteration. What is the use of loop? Loop means that doing a task multiple times. We have three types of loop: a count control loop, a precondition loop, a post condition loop. In count control loop, we have for loop. This is the syntax of for loop in pseudo code. For identifier, identifier can be of any variable. Then this assignment sign, the starting value, a keyword to, then ending value, and all the statements inside a for block. Then at the end you have to write a keyword next. Let's take an example. For variable count, starting from 1 to 10, print Pakistan. This loop will print the word Pakistan 10 times. And in the end you have to write a keyword next. You can write, it's not wrong, you can write over here the variable name which is using for loop, COUNT. You can write, it is also correct. Counted loops. Another example, here it is using a variable I. So it, give me a minute. Wow. Okay, it is using a variable I, and each time a value is assigned to I and gets print, and the loop gets to the next value like 2, 3, 4, and so on. Step. In for loop, we have an option in the range block that we can count the loop not by 1, by 2, by 3, or by any other value. So here we use a word step for it. How we can use it? For variable starting position to ending position, a keyword step and a value like 2, 3, 4. So this is the increment value, like it starts from 1, then it print 3, then it print 5. It jumps 2 times because the step is 2. In pseudocode, we use a step keyword for making a jump more than 1 or less than 1. If we want to make a jump or make a count more than 1, 2, 3, 4, any other value, we can use a keyword step. Like here it prints 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Oh, error finding. It is a very important topic, error finding. Can you guess what are the errors in it? There are 5 errors in this code. What are these? Input 500 numbers. So the loop must start from 1 to 500. It's fine. Then generate a ratio called k. So there is an error before that. In the first line, the total must be equal to 0. What is the second error? The error is in line 30, third line. And what is that error? The number that is entered must be larger than 10. So we have to change this less than sign to greater than sign. Then is there any other error in the same line? Yes, no input command. It is written input 500 numbers. So the input command must lie inside a loop. Okay, line 45, line 50. Is there any error in line 50? Yes, because for loop controlled count itself. There is no need to make an increment in a variable x. So we just remove this line 50. Okay, moving on to line 60. No error. Line 70, next, and we can write a variable name with next, it's fine. And in 80, the output should be those numbers which are larger than 10. So the output must be total number. Total must be the output. So these are the 5 errors. Okay. Let's try another one. This fourth one. Input 10 numbers. Check whether the number is within a specific range or not. Then total the number within the range or outside the range. So first of all, in range is fine, out range must be 0, because we have to count how many numbers are in range and out range. So change line 2 to out range equal to 0. Then line 3, 1 to 10 it's fine. Line 4, input number it's fine. Line 5, number greater than 10 and number less than 20 is in range. So in range is equal to in range plus 1, it's fine. Line 6, else out range equal to out range minus 1. It should be out range plus 1, because if the number is not in range, it is in out range. So we have to increment the out range by 1. So in line 7, no need for increment because we have a count control loop. So we remove line 7. And in line 8, is there any error? The next should have a keyword that is used in for loop, like the variable count. So we have to write next count in line 8. Oh, precondition loop. The precondition loop is a while loop which checks the condition before execution of the loop. While loop will execute until the condition is true. Like if I set count equal to 10 and the condition is while count less than equal to 1. This is wrong. So this loop will never execute because the count is not less than 1. So I can change it while count greater than equal to 1. Now count is 10 and 10 is greater than equal to 1. Do print this statement. We have a keyword do, which we have to write while using pseudo code. Okay, and print count, and count is decremented. The value of count is 10 for the first time. It decremented it to 9 and it checks again. 9 is less than 1, it's fine. It prints 9. It is decremented by 1 again. Then it prints 8. Okay, in this way while loop will execute until the condition is true. So here I is equal to 0. While I is less than 9, the condition is true. Enter a number, the user enter the number, it gets printed and increment the counter by 1. While loop we must have to use a counter increment, and in the end we have to write end while. Post condition loop. Post condition loop is the repeat until loop. We have no post condition loop in Python, but we have a post condition loop in pseudo code. Repeat until works until the condition is false. As soon as the condition becomes true, what happened? The loop gets terminated because it only works on false condition. Like total is equals to 0, total 1 and total 2 is also equals to 0, and count is equals to 0, it's fine. Repeat this condition, or repeat these statements. Input height, checks height is this, that, count, increase the count by 1, and then check the condition at the last, post condition. Either the condition is true or false. Do this for one time, and if the condition is false, do it multiple times, because 0 is less than 499. It means that this condition is false. Continue. When this condition is true, like it becomes 499 and this condition becomes true, the loops gets terminated, because repeat until loop gets terminated as you receive a true condition. It executes on false conditions.